So, it's time, finally, to take on this Kraken. So, just a reminder to everyone, this isn't exactly intended to be like a perfect how to take down the Kraken. This is still in the experimental campaign. And what we're experimenting on is the effectiveness of these crossbow headshot executioner builds, which are okay, and we were testing the viability of, where's one? I've got 3 tanks here. Overwhelm, light armor, high initiative tanks, which haven't been that great. So we certainly aren't going to need the fighting axe. Do these things apply bleed? I think they might apply bleed. What's this? Immunity to being stunned. So I think actually if we had done the, which is it's the little goblin ears that stop you from getting, oh yeah, I think you get that from clearing out the goblin city. I think that would have stopped the Kraken from grabbing you. But no matter, we're giving everybody dogs, so dog spam is going to be integral to our success here, we hope. Yes, we've got these legendary great swords, but I think in fighting the tentacles, the 2 attacks of slash is going to be more important. I mean, if this first attempt fails, we can just try it with the great swords. But I think having, well, I hope having 4 lads that all have war brands, that's going to be good. We've got our duelist who uses a Shamshir. 56 to 62. 56 to 62 is the same. Okay. These things don't have armor, so that doesn't matter. What is important, though, is all of this acid. Wait a second. My dagger lad, I think, does actually want a shield. Okay, the obsidian dagger is not going to make a damn bit of difference. We aren't going to be raising anything. I think does Super Duper doesn't necessarily have to have the heater. Let him throw the acid, and then he can go to the shield if he needs to, or rather the whip from range if he needs to. Okay, so we've got 3 flasks of acid, which we are going to throw at the Kraken and hopefully get its armor down low enough that my crossbow lads can do some work. They've each got 28 bolts. Should be good. The only thing I'm thinking about is whether I want to give my crossbow lads spears to give them some chance of fighting off these tentacles if they need to. What's up, Dankovsky? Nets don't do anything. Daggers don't do anything. The whips are just there in case the lads are too damaged by the tentacles. But that shouldn't make a difference. I'm trying to remember if these tentacles actually poison. I think they bleed more than they poison.
Good tonight. Will
What up,
you come
Spitz?
with me to Camelot and join?
So we follow.
I'm back. Missed a lot of streams.
Yeah, I haven't been streaming much, but this is the calm before the storm, guys. Just wait till that DLC drops. Oh, I hope you lads are ready for, 8 hours at least of VODs every day for like that first week or 2. I know you guys generally prefer the hour-long, episodes, but in the beginning we're going to be playing so much, I'm just going to dump the VODs, and then once we feel like we've gotten a handle of the DLC, and I'll go to a more reasonable streaming schedule, then we'll start doing hour-long episodes. Yeah, the experimentations have been interesting. We didn't learn a lot new. We already knew that if you're going, well, any kind of frontline, brother, you got to go heavy armor. These light armor lads can be decent, but at the end of the day, the heavy armor is what you need. What has surprised me from these experimentations has been the comparative usefulness of the war brands. In most situations, I think you still want the great swords, but look, you to attack twice a turn, that's 100 to 150, compared to once a turn of 85 to 100, so that's like a lot more damage. The duelist was actually pretty good, but I learned if I'm going to go duelist, I won't go sword duelist again. I'll most likely go mace duelist if I go duelist again, but then again, I would have to compare the effectiveness of a one-handed duelist just to a two-handed brother using a two-handed mace. I think the two-handed mace is going to be better, honestly, and the two-handed mace applies days. I know that for a duelist, a cleaver can be really good. But then again, you run into the same problem as you would with the two-handed mace. I'd rather just be using the two-handed cleaver. Axe Mastery, maybe, because it gives you shield break utility. And if you have armor pierce from duelist, plus extra damage with an axe. Daggers and... oh yeah. Well, the thing is, Spitz, you got to let your dagger guys get nice and high level first. I mean, Dankovsky is pretty good. 97 melee skill. A shepherd of all things. Look, he doesn't have great melee defense, but with shield mastery and a legendary shield. Like, look at that. 62 melee defense. In fact, that's overkill. Give that to the shield master. He's got 46 melee defense. And then when you get a dagger like this, 25 to 50. Amazing. Okay, so acid flask time. 35 to 40. Okay, so he gets the extra damage if he's not carrying the acid flask. And none of these lads actually have quick hands. Anyway, before we move on, back to the lessons learned. I think that steel brow is probably worth it for a light armor lad. I did learn that I needed to dump more points into initiative. I seem to have thought that fatigue was tied to initiative directly, like it's cap, but it's slightly different. So I would have had this duelist have less fatigue, and I would have put more of those points into initiative. And then, oh yeah. So the crossbows actually were pretty damn good. I mean, they have their drawbacks. The extra range from the bows is much nicer. But against a lot of enemies, especially goblins, the crossbows are unreal. And it was happening quite a lot in some of the crossbow fights against the goblins, where if you get the proccing of Berserk right, if you hit 2 crossbow bolts, you kill 2 goblins. And with 4 crossbow guys, you can kill 8 goblins a turn like that. It's amazing. That being said, in future, I'll probably just go for the warbow. I mean, in certain situations, the crossbow is stronger than the warbow. But for doing what your ranged guys need to do, you can't beat a warbow. So yeah, when we start the DLC, we're going to have a setup that looks more like this. But it's going to be no more than 2 bowmen at once. Then these 2 guys here will probably be polearm users or two-handed sword users, depending on how those pole swords work. If the pole swords give you this reap ability, then that's going to make them a lot stronger than polearms, because you'll get the plus hit. But then I don't think the pole swords will give you reap, because then they're identical to the war scythe. I think it'll give you a single target hit. We'll see. But anyway, in future, I think I still like the tanks. I like 2 tanks. I also have learnt that if you're going to take on Black Monolith, or at least the way I want to, I want to search for one brother, a tank god, whose destiny it is to just be built up to be a god among tanks, heavy armor, decent fatigue, unkillable, fortified mind, you know, lone wolf, all sorts of stuff to make him tough. And then his job, when we do the Black Monolith, is to head north and hold like a dozen undead at bay by himself, while the rest of the lads head south in the formation and kill the rest of the undead, and then loop around if he's still alive. That super tank, I'm going to make a sword specialist and give him the lightning sword. That's what I want to do. Anyway, I'm kind of just wasting time now because I'm nervous about getting killed by this Kraken. So for the Kraken, you need 1 signet ring and a bunch of unhold hide. So I've read through all this before. If you haven't read this before, you have to pause the video to read. Let's have a look. Who are you? What do you do now? How can I help? I'll bring you the hides. Oh, what? I've got the hides. 10 unhold hides. 10 of them. We've got 7. Okay, so we need more unholds. Damn it. Dang it. 10 unhold hides? I don't know there's so many. Well, Dankovsky, I've never beaten Black Monolith before. Are we going to try? I gotta say, from this experimentation build, I've loved having the 4 greatsword users. I kind of think maybe 2 greatsword and 2 bardiche guys, but in those huge swarm fights, when you're just fighting against swarms and swarms of undead, the ability to swing in a semicircle with the greatswords is just, it's too good. Okay, food is a problem. Let's go get food. We don't run out of food. Damn, that's gonna ruin morale. Lads are hungry. They just missed breakfast. Okay, so we got 7 days food. You got 9 ashes once. What bullshit, I'd say. Well, what are you referring to, mate? 9 ashes. You're talking about the undead ash. What is this? No. Oh, right. So I didn't realize it was different. Okay, that's interesting. I thought she always asked you for hides. Okay, interesting. I'm kind of hoping someone gives me an unhold mission. Otherwise, we just head back out into the wilds. I could have sworn we had enough. So yeah, back to theorizing about what I want to do with the other DLC. Like, I think I have a good idea of how I want to build my, you know, my quote-unquote perfect set of brothers. Ooh, that's tempting, but we don't need that. What's up, Rattlesnake? I think what I'm going to do in my next campaign, I kind of want to split up into like 2 phases. The pre-greatness and, you know, greatness phase. The pre-greatness is going to be days 0 to like 500, where it's just much like we've got here. It's whatever you can get. It's farm hands, it's lowborns basically. But right early on, I want to try my best to be able to afford a retired soldier, ideally as my sergeant. Because obviously we're gonna need him to become that non-com sergeant when he retires. But I want to have in the early game like a lot of apprentices and characters that actually benefit from the training that the retired soldier gives you. And then once we've gotten to a stable set of brothers like this, then it's going to be the hunting for greatness. Then it's going to be like in this phase now, I'm kind of just running around doing late game stuff, doing missions, making money. Unhold? Okay, that could be the unholds we need for the skins. But now we've got to fight Hexen. Puke. It's going to be dire wolves. Which reminds me, I really should have stockpiled wooden sticks. And also that reminds me of another thing that I want to do in my next campaign. Which is have spare sets of armor with the runes and sigils. Where are they? So then in a situation like this, hang on, let's go like this. Let's go runes and sigils. And then we give it to that lad up front, our dagger lad. Giving him the best chance of resisting. So 50 plus 20 is 70. Plus 13, so 83. Minus 35. So he's got like a 40-something% chance to resist getting mind controlled. Commons are here, Hexen. Okay, this could be good for us. With the height. My crossbow lads might be able to get into range. Give us a few one-shots. You gotta love it. And also, this reminds me, on the subject of crossbows versus warbows. What you saw right there is what you don't get from the warbows. It's that wonderful one-shot ability. Damn it. Ooh, if I fuck this up, I can't rotate there, I don't think. Okay, good, I can. The lads aren't exactly prepared now. We've got these boys with the acid flasks we're not going to use in this fight. Oh, shot. What's up, Modern? Right, so we got one killed already. We got one badly wounded. Another one unhit. Problem is that that's meant I've moved forward, so the lads are probably going to get mind controlled. But fuck it, there's only 2 Hexen now, so let's just run forward and try our luck. The main thing is if they don't mind control the crossbow lads. We have a chance. We need 3 more unhold skins, so let's hope we get all the skins from these unholds. These guys are protected by a hex, so we have to wait. The fact that it'll last so long and there's no cooldown annoys the shit out of me. Okay, at least she didn't mind control there. She mind control, but she didn't hex. So now my crossbow lad should have a shot. Protected by a hex, damn. No, Dankovsky, he's gonna dagger stab Death Taunt probably to death. Hexen. That's what Hexen do. So Dankovsky was the one who had runes and sigils, so he was unlucky to have gotten mind control there. Let's try that again. I need those unhold. This is one of the worst battlefields to fight the Hexen in. Line of sight can get messed up. It does get messed up. Yeah, I can't see these fucking bitches. God. Hate fighting Hexen. You mean there's no starting... there's no background called witch hunters, is there? There's only the... You're talking about the actual type of brothers. Yet they get plus 20 to mind control and panic and fear. So if you put them in armor, I guess that's shrats. Oh god, it's just witches. Fucking, we're out of food. We're gonna have to fight these goblins to get some food out of them. Good lord, this is annoying. I just wanted to do the Kraken fight and then wrap up this bit of experimentation. In fact, I think there should be some strange meat in this camp. I don't think there is a Witch Hunter's background, is there? Or is it a new one that's coming with the DLC? We will have to wait till the DLC comes out. If there was a Witch Hunter's background and it was described in one of the dev blogs, I don't remember. See what I mean? This is where the crossbows really shine. Oh, so close. Headshot would have killed him. Yeah, you better run, you little piece of shit. The little sounds they make. Oh, come on. I'll always end-dom against these little things because they can pull out a dagger. 2 or 3 shot you. I mean, their little poison bows are annoying, but the daggers are actually properly lethal. Oh, nice. Excellent. Well, Dankovsky, to my memory, there was never a Witch Hunter background. I mean, like starting background. I think there's a character. Oh, we got a legendary, and it's a 2-handed hammer, which we don't use. Base damage, extra bit of armor, ignore base armor, extra bit of shield damage, and it's light. It's not that great. They not give us any food. Oh fuck, we're running out of food. Shit. Up we saw. Oh, we're gonna have to butcher a dog. No! Oh, that's sad. We have to eat our dogs. Quickly. Undead, there's not gonna be any food in there, is there? I had so many undead skins. I could have sworn I had enough. She wants 10 undead skins. 10 of them. Unhold, I mean. Not undead, unhold. This is awkward. We've got to buy some more dogs. Economy-wise, I kind of don't really care right now. We are so close to wrapping up this campaign. We've got 2 legendary greatswords. Both of them are just bog standard. Same damage, same versus armor, same versus pierce. They just do... Well, this one does extra shield damage, and they're both a bit lighter. Okay, both fine. They're a bit whatever. Someone give me a unhold fighting contract. No, gentlemen. I'm trying to remember, those unhold missions tend to spawn in the middle of the map, so we'll keep hitting the cities there. What's this? My predecessor, I did not get a chance, I'm afraid. My housemate is very plugged into the social life with all my friends, so I haven't had much chance to play on the weekends. But he's away now from this. I mean, this weekend is the last weekend that I'm away, and I can't really stream. So starting next week, I'll have much more time for streaming. And I'm hoping on playing Predecessor. The problem I have is the ping. The one time I did play, I had 200 ping, which makes it very difficult. 22 brigands, that is a lot. They might actually start shit with us, but that's fine. Let's mess them up. Oh, no, sorry, hang on, Jimbo. So I've been saying background. Yes, so the background is like your brother's career. I'm talking about the... when I was saying background, I meant starting... sorry, origin was the word I was looking for. Yes, there's a witch hunter's background, but there's not a witch hunter's origin. Okay, our crossbow lads must try to pick off these dudes wherever possible. Okay. What I have been playing recently is I've managed to get a dev build of Long War of the Chosen working. 3.1 I think it is called. And it's great. I should keep practicing though, because it is super difficult. Europe. So, like when I play on the Dota servers, I get about 175, which is just manageable, but 200 is too much. It's unfortunately not doable with 200. I mean, I played a bit of Muriel, and I couldn't level the Q because you just can't land it. And even landing your right click is very, very difficult, because trying to hit an ally who's obviously moving, it's already a difficult to hit ability, but then your ally is moving. Forget about it. But hopefully it gets better as the game gets, you know, more developed and there's more servers available and better servers. So yeah, you guys can all expect an XCOM Long War of the Chosen playthrough soon. I'm just playing offline and practicing because I've never even liberated a region. It is so fucking difficult. I mean, I'm playing on Legend difficulty, but holy crap, it's hard. Aliens just accelerate their tech so quickly. And so, even when I like rush laser weapons and get them out to my squad, I've got the laser weapons going and I'm just building the Predator armor, but then already you start, the Muton Centurions start showing up. It's freaking scary. And I did on one offline experimentation try rushing mag weapons, but it's too difficult. I found with the mag weapon rush, if you don't get lucky with getting enough engineers, then you just can't build them even if you get it researched. So XCOM theory crafting while slaughtering raiders is quite relaxing. Nice. You don't get that with a warbow. I think that was a headshot. Nasal helmet hit for 83. So that was a one-shot, point-blank crossbow to the head. But up to PP. What do you mean PP? Predecessor or Paragon? Oh, Phoenix Point. I hear there's been some updates rolled out, but I have no desire to play Phoenix Point. I just got so bored of it. It's a pity because there's a kernel of a very great game in there somewhere. Oh, there's a tree there, that's why I can't go there. The taunt is just one-shotting, lads. I would completely not blame guys if they actually chose crossbow lads over warbow guys. You just got to know what downsides you're getting yourself into, but there's also a lot of upsides. You just saw it here. But then again, if the strongest point of the weapon is its performance against raiders, it's like, eh. But you just got to bear in mind though that you get that kind of damage, that kind of performance against enemy soldiers as well. So when you are in the Civil War, you can make a fucking fortune because you just slaughter soldiers with your crossbowmen. Worth more here. That's worth more here. Oh, I can't wait for the DLC. There's a bunch of cool stuff I want to try. In the early game, I want to see if I can pick up a monk or a historian and just keep them on staff. I think in the early game, keeping a historian on staff is probably worth it. They cost like 6 gold a day. If you get one with the right perks, they can be happy to stay in reserve. They can help you decode the map, which is guaranteed legendary. They get a couple of nice events. They can remove stupidity. All sorts of interesting stuff. We'll have to see, Denkovsky. I don't know. I shall reserve judgment till I see the numbers. But the thing is, the crossbows shoot for, what, 6? Bows for 7 and throwing weapons for 5. So you're going to have to give them the same range as a crossbow. But you can't give them better damage than a crossbow. So they're just going to be weaker crossbows. Admittedly that you can shoot twice a turn, but... yeah, I don't know. The thing is, if I'm going to have to take that range hit, then I'll just rather have a crossbow. Because you just get more armor-piercing, you know, damage out of it. Also, what I hope they do is, I hope that they change the bowyer event. So that he says, hey, can I, instead of saying, can I make you a warbow? It gives you a choice of making you a legendary crossbow or warbow. I truly hope they do that. Right, let's go run around some swamps, see if we can find some unhold. Oh, perfect. Unholds around Nesselwald. Give me them unhold. We'll cover the damages, small price to pay. For a second I wonder if Battles Chosen actually killed the unholds. The damn mission for us. I think that's their tracks. No, those tracks are extinguished. That's something I've never happened before. Seen happen before. If your quarry gets killed by like another roving group, what happens is it just spawn in another one for you. Ah, there they go. 6 unholds, easy. The last time I fought unholds, I used the great swords. But these ones don't have armor, so I want to use the war brands. Maybe I'll do more. And instead of crossbowmen, we'll take out the shield breakers, because they do loads of damage with their axes. I agree, Dunkovsky, but we'll just have to reserve judgment till we actually see the numbers. Ulfert could go intimidate them, but I need to fight them. I need their skins. I know what the game's going to do. It's only going to give me 2 skins when I need 3 for the quest. What's pretty cool here is you're going to see that our sword duelist is able to wound these unholds. Needs 3 AP. Fuck, it's annoying. Unfortunately, you have to use Indom, otherwise I just push you around and break your formation. Or generally just annoying ball bags. Gladiators. We're starting with gladiators. Definitely. I'm most interested in the gladiators. Then I want to see what the slave background is like. Origin, sorry, not background. I keep confusing origin and background. There's another point about duelists. Another reason why I agree that swords are not the way to go. Like, it's great I've wounded this unhold 3 times, but all the best injuries are the blunt injuries. Missed. Damn it. Missed. Oh yeah, and I wasn't able to give my duelist Indom, and that's what happens. And Overwhelm has proven to be not at all worth getting. Down. 5 to go. If I wait, then this duelist can wound that unhold, and then my crossbowman can do more damage. It's super getting knocked around. Oh. 75 missed, 75 missed. Should have used the body. Damn it. So I think this is absolutely the situation where you use the warbrand over the greatsword. Oof, Super's getting messed up. Which damage was that? 65 damage. And that's with Executioner. Ah. Fuck, these things are tough. Hold on, boys, and we get 1 skin. Ugh. Still need 2 more for the Kraken fight. What's this? Plunderer's base. Unfortunately, I have to take that fight because I need the money. The operating expenses of this warband is high. What, 500? 461. We'll head through the swamp, hopefully find some more unholds. 2 more sets of skin. I also hope that you'll be able to buy crafting materials in the new DLC. It hardly ever seems worth it fighting the late game beasts. They're just super annoying. Good to know. Okay, let's see. So two named orcs, some young, some berserkers, some warriors, and a warlord. Do we go with 4 crossbowmen? I think we do. Those named orcs tend to not carry shields. Yeah, now we want the great swords. How many unhold bones do we have? I need 1 more set. Awesome. You'll notice that the warband is upgraded from direwolf attachments or to unhold bones pretty much across the board. This is worth a save. It's a hell of a fight, this. Some young, some berserkers. It's only like half a dozen warriors. Our crossbowmen should do work here. So, named one-handed axe. That could be usable. No! 89 missed. Two named orc axes on the table here. Those could be useful for our shield breakers. Or for our tank lads. Those orc axes are going to do so much shield damage. See, actually, I need to end them because these berserkers acted before we all did. Such a waste of fatigue. I hate it. Ooh, grazed kidney. Grazed kidney to me sounds like the most painful of all the injuries. Ugh, can you imagine? Oh, cheeky dodge. Here I come. So with the gladiators, you start with 3 pretty good guys, and they can't die. If they die, the campaign's over. It's like a modified version of the lone wolf start, and they start with armor that you can only win in the arena. You can't actually buy it anywhere. Whereas with the slaves, you get a couple of brothers that are called slave drivers, and then you can only, I think you can only hire slaves, and then your slave drivers get an ability called whip slaves, which then gives these shitty combat stat having slaves like a stat bonus. And the idea is it's fine if your slaves die as long as your slave drivers stay high level and keep whipping them. That doesn't sound like I would really enjoy it, but I would have to try it first. I mean, maybe it could get super powerful if you're able to keep your slaves alive. Because it sounds like the intention is that you wouldn't keep your slaves alive, but maybe if you can, that could be much more powerful. I'm gonna indom, not this turn. Damn it. Normally these orc warriors are really easy to hit, even if they've got their shield up. Oh shit, super can't do anything there. Pretty hopeless against armor, actually. I find that if I step my archers back, it mostly disincentivizes the orcs from pushing these guys. Okay, well, if he has to use push twice, a lot of fatigue is used. KK, what's your defense? 46, pretty damn good. Don't you destroy my name shield. 65%, 2 more stabs ought to do it, but I'm exhausted. I don't know, I'm not convinced with the slaves. We'll have to see. It's too early to tell. Are we? Now it's getting a little scary. Indom time. Oh, Christ. What were those attacks? Low, and they both hit. What's his name? Korget. 49 hit, 44 hit. His morale's not breaking is the problem. This war boss is gonna kill him. Maybe not if I indom. Good. I'll drop the dog. Maybe he attacks the dog. Seth, you brave, brave doggo. Wow, war side doesn't last long. No, rip! Where'd doggo? There goes our legendary shield. Okay, we threw the armor at least. And then the headshots start coming. Typical. That's one of the 3 named shields we had. And like, I mean, it's as far as legendary goes, shields, it's like, who cares? Of course it hits the head. No, KK doesn't like that. Oh, jeez, he got his weapon back. I didn't realize that. Whoops. Bit of luck there. I think in the DLC though, it's a much needed change where that one camp follower is going to mean that your legendaries don't break. Blacksmith, I think it is. Weapon skills build up 3 more fatigue, and look at that, maximum fatigue by 22. 35 low damage is crap. Shield damage of 16. How does it actually compare to a fighting axe? Probably not that great. 35, 65, 30, 156, 45. Eh. Orc weapons, yawn. I almost started making heavy war dog armor when I need that unhold skin for the Kraken. Would have made me sad. Right, where is it? Alright, we have full unhold plates on everybody. Nice. Up, Saint Ajora. Been a while since I've seen you, mate. You haven't been around for a while. Welcome. And we did lose that shield, did we? Yeah. Oh well. I've got 2 other legendary kite shields, but like, who cares? Right, 2 more unhold skin and we can do the Kraken fight. $4,000 cash money. That's also good cash money, but money's looking fine. Just run around the wilderness here. We should find some swamp unholds, I hope. Legendary maybe? Legendary chance? Only 15%. I was super disappointed when I was doing offline grinding. I found a barbarian camp as part of a mission that had a 75% legendary indicator. I didn't get it. Spiders. Ugh. I don't need their webs, so we'll ignore them. Fighting that many spiders, especially in a swamp, would be horrible. I mean, unfollowed. You unfollowed me? I think I've been lucky. I haven't experienced really any weirdness from Twitch. It's YouTube that gives me problems. Consistently doesn't tell me when videos go up. So 60, so 80, 120, 140. Oh, you misclicked and unfollowed me. Fair enough. Noble Mail, thank you very much. It's so typical. I just bought Noble Mail. All these lads here. Excuse me, the bone plates. Let's actually see. So this is what, 140 for 16, 160 for 15. What's up, Aronax? Oh, but that's noble. Yeah, with bone plates. I think we just hang on to this noble mail. We'll chuck some bone plates on there when we can. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of noble mail now. These are legendary mail, legendary mail. Arsenajora on my end, let's just take a look. Quality is all there. I'm not dropping any frames. Okay, it must be on your end then, I'm afraid. Right. The quest for unhold skins continues. If I have to think, where have I seen the most unholds? Probably like around the middle of the map here and the north. The swamp should be a good unhold stomping ground. And I suppose I should keep hitting the villages. Wolf's Wall. Wolf's Wall does not have weapon or armor smith. I've been a little unlucky in this campaign that I haven't really gotten any missions where I get to escort a caravan to one of the 2 cities that has a Fletcher. This Greenskin Horde. I don't need the money. What I should have been hoping for is throughout the campaign to get, like I say, an escort mission that takes me to where there's a Fletcher. What kills people? That is trees. I don't want to fight trees. Because if we can get the city with a Fletcher well supplied, then there's a chance you can get a legendary crossbow. If I look at that crossbow that Damage Incorporated has, I think it had base damage, but it had 60% base armor pierce. So if you think 60% armor pierce plus 25 from crossbow mastery, you have 85% armor pierce. This is fighting barbarians. Whatever. Come, give me some fucking unholds, please. Well, actually, now I'm going so far north that we're more likely to run into those snowy unholds. Let's keep running the loop out here. This map has a spider infestation. There we go. 11 of the fuckers though. Oof. That could be nasty. No, Martin. We've gotten quite a few of the heavy warhounds, but that's it. Immunity to being stunned. So then, perfect. Give it to Super Duper, who doesn't actually have Indom. Indom being stunned, knocked back, or grabbed. So he can still be grabbed, but at least he can't be stunned when they jump in. This tank, do we need him in this fight? Yeah, why not? Right. I'm not going to fight these things in a forest. Actually, that could actually help us. What's up, Pepsi Man? Do we move forward and cut them off? I think we do. You're very welcome. Hope you're enjoying it. Love this game. God, the DLC. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. So one of my favorite streamers, Pyrian Flex, he's been playing a bit of Battle Brothers, but I get so annoyed with how he hasn't like really grappled with a lot of the game's systems, and then he criticizes the game when he doesn't understand the details. But it's fair enough. I think this game is definitely deceptively complex. I try to think how many hours I was into this game before I actually appreciated how complex it is, how much there is to it. How did that not wound him? Weird. Yeah, we love P-Flex, but like, I mean, it's only been Dota ever where he's been really, really strongly process and detail oriented. And actually, Blood Bowl is another game he's phenomenally good at. But watching him quit Blood Bowl again, such schadenfreude, because I've had that feeling. I've only just reinstalled Blood Bowl, but I haven't played it again. I was about to hit play the other day and I just started getting no Blood Bowl anxiety. The guys who stream it full time are a special lot. I think of all the two-handed weapons, the greatsword's got to be overall the best. I agree, Modern. I think I'm going to try to commit to what I said a couple months ago. I wanted to make every Monday night is Blood Bowl night. And I play it whether I kind of want to or not. I need to get myself in the right frame of mind. God damn it, Aronax. I have to stop trying to win. If that makes sense. I was just trying to enjoy the game and accept all the bullshit. I think I've got to stop playing elves. So I like the elves, but I think they're much more difficult to play than the bashy teams. I should just play orcs and level up a nice bashy orc team. Although I've probably had the most success with humans, and I love the humans. Oh, thank you, throwing me on the high ground. Cheers. Just laugh how useless your guys are. I think it's easier to do that with the orcs, because the orcs are kind of funny. But I lose my sense of humor very quickly when my black orcs die. And they do die a lot. Yeah, I'll make no worries, mate. It's been interesting having those chats on the Discord. I love talking about those details. Little efficiencies. I'm very glad overall we did this little experimentation playthrough. We learned a lot. But yeah, bring on the DLC. It better not get delayed. My leave request has been approved. So I've got the day before and the day of launch and the day after, which is a Friday. And I can play the whole of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to have 4 days of pretty much solid Battle Brothers. So if they delay it now, I'm going to be annoyed. Yeah, Martin, I'm amazed you managed to keep it together in that last league. If anyone had a right to be triggered, it was you. But then who was the guy who had Undead? What's his name again? I forget. He started off well by beating me, but then his luck went off a cliff. Holy. If I start playing a team, Undead is a good option as well. You know, they're a tier 1 team. Good bashy. I just love the orcs though. So this grab ability that these things have, where they throw over their shoulder, I don't think they have to roll to hit. I think it's just an ability. I've never seen a throw attempt actually miss. So that's one little change I hope gets introduced. They must change it to an attack from an ability. Come back here and hold. I need your skin. Oh, that was a big jump. What? The Saleh is the best for head. Well, I've kind of settled on in the early game. Well, obviously the best light armor. We're talking base armor, non-legendary. It's the Noble Mail. 160 for 15, so 1.1 armor to weight ratio. So the Saleh weighs 5, but bear in mind that takes you from 60% reduction to 47. The 7% less effective if you had either no head armor. Ideally you want to only be using 15 fatigue worth of armor. So maybe find what's the best armor that is 10 fatigue. I would imagine that would be the regular chainmail, but that's only 110, which is 50 less armor for 5 fatigue. It's probably better. But then when you get an armor like this, which is what, 200 for 10, that takes his EHP quite high. Yeah, 360 almost. Well, you know, Martin, I would definitely play vampires again. I hated vampires at first, but once I started to learn how failing a bloodlust isn't the worst thing in the world, always. And I think what made me fall in love with vampires is that one time I was able to pull off the hypnotized cage break whenever. It's super satisfying. It might even be, I think it was against you. Or against the human team, I think. Have we got enough skin here? We just need 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Sweet, Kraken time. Let's do it. Wo ist der Kraken? Aha. So we are going to take all 4 of the crossbowmen. We're going to use the war brands. I believe that the war brands will be more effective against the tentacles. I don't think shields are needed like at all in this Kraken fight. It's just about hitting those tentacles. So really, the whole point of this fight here now, make sure everyone has a dog. Hang on, there is a necklace that says immunity to being grabbed. Is that the undead necklace? Fear and mind control. Immunity to being stunned. Oh yeah, it's the goblin ears. I think that the goblin ears would have stopped the tentacles from grabbing you. It would have been great for this fight. But still, it's only one brother. Right, we're all dogged up. We're all acid flasked up. What's this? Oh, here we go. Come across a caldera at the bottom, which you find a sheep nuzzling something. As you draw close, you see that there is an enormous hound there. It's firm, matted with blood. You found a monstrous nachtseer whose throat has been ripped out. A pup. See, that's the heavy warhound that you get, but I haven't actually gotten a wolf yet. Strong and loyal northern hound bred for war can be unleashed in battle for scouting, tracking, or running down and routing enemies. Very cool. We don't have armor for him though. The second wind potions are we going to use for the Kraken fight? I think no, we will. Okay, after we do the Kraken now, are we going to do any more on this experimentation? I don't think so. I don't think we have what it takes to take on the Black Monolith. I think. Fuck it. I'm going to keep the second wind potions. Let's get the lightning sword, and we'll give the Black Monolith a go. We'll get fucking wiped out. I mean, hell, we don't nearly have what we need. I mean, we've got 3 tanks, we've got 2 shield breakers. We'll leave all the crossbowmen behind for the Black Monolith, but it's gonna make a difference. Everybody heal up. We attack at dusk. You've reminded me, Martin, I need to get a cultist armor at some point. So I've got such a long list of things I want to accomplish in the next playthrough. But the next campaign we do for the DLC is going to be a lot of fact-finding. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up restarting it. But broadly speaking, I want a diverse group of lads so we can use all of the named items. The lightning sword, the obsidian dagger, the 2-handed ice cave cleaver. So those 3 guys will be in the center of the formation. I want 2 tanks, 2 dedicated super tanks, one of which will be a martyr tank for the Black Monolith. And then 2-handed weapons, I want at least 4. In this setup, we've got 4 great swords. I think I might go with 2 bardiche and 2 great sword. And then we'll have pole maces. What's nice is that the great sword guys can use the pole swords, but we'll see. Okay. Indeed, Rotte. But the thing is, what we're trying now. Remember, this is an experimentation. What I'm hoping is the placement of these war brands will mean that we can cut the tentacles off like that. And then, if we can get these lads close enough, they can throw acid at the head of the Kraken, and then after 4 or 5 turns the armor should be low enough that we can start pelting the Kraken itself with crossbow bolts. It's not going to work, but we're going to try. The problem is getting close enough to throw the acid. And then you got to wait 3 turns for it to tick down. I'm going to do that 3 times, that's 9 turns. Let's go get killed. It's not going to work. Let's try. Okay. So the deal is done. From dust to dust. From dust to finding dust. What? What's she saying? Oh, fuck, now I've got to get ash piles. Ugh. Right, where are... Undead vaults, I think they're the best chance we have finding vampires. I get why this is done, but pain. Undead vaults anywhere? Orcs. These grave mounds aren't always that great. I need the above ground mausoleums tend to have vampires in them. Go try there. Oh, Vidagangers and a necromancer. That's a nice bit of XP, but we don't need XP. We just need some vampires. We'll stick to the mountains. Yeah, this is normally where you find them. What's in there? Undead. This is raiding parties. No thanks. Yes, Modern agreed. We are going to be doing pretty much exactly that. Once there's only 4 of them left, then it should be manageable. Okay, we've got bone plating coming up the ass. I need 3 shimmering ashes. 3 more shimmering ashes. For our crossbowmen against this Kraken, should we just give them 3 large quiver of bolts? So they have 42 rounds each. 42 crossbow bolts each. I think that's a yes. There's no danger of these lads running out of crossbows. Crossbow bolts, that is. Of course, daggers aren't needed, so we'll go with bandages. I seem to recall that tentacles can actually poison you. I think I'm remembering things. Let's take a look there in the battlefield, but I think that's going to be heavy undead. And look at all of these mausoleums. We might get lucky and find some vampires in there. Priest, legionaries. Legionaries. I love this background. Being able to know what's inside a ruin is amazing. Fallen heroes, geists. Yes, I do remember they can make you bleed. It's just the poison that I can't remember. It seems like it might fit, you know, them being poisonous. Let's buy some bandages. Loads of bandages. This is all in preparation for this fight. If I'm going to leave my heater behind, I'm going to leave the heater. Ugh, need undead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it needs to be the above ground vault type, which I think is only in the mountains. God, this is so dreary. Two dogs are fighting. You're a hound's master. Handle this. Good. Stop them from fighting. I love the hound's master. What a useful character. Let's hope we can tame a wolf out here while we're looking for a shit ton of ancient legionaries. But 56% chance to get a legendary. Is that worth doing? Stay focused. We have for the Kraken fight. Also, our funds are running down quick. Come on. Where's some bloody vampires when you need them and now we're out of food? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh yeah, ammo collecting lad. There's also going to be foraging lad who helps you with food. But something just spawned. I think that was Unholds. Oof, that was expensive. Damn, we have to do a mission. Get some money. Let's go fight that group with the ancient legionaries. Travel the lands, Hawk. Okay, there's a civil war on, so there's plenty of money to be made. A day to the west. Fallen heroes, necromancer. Just legionaries. Upper right, looked like a lake, you said. Oh, there, yeah, what is that? Hunting ground. A lone elk grazes on green meadows in the shadows of some trees. That's awesome. I'll check. I've never seen that before. Cool. Let's go examine that immediately. Well spotted. What is that? Clicking on it and nothing is happening. Oh, that's the Lerock. Okay. Never fought the Lerock. Well, alright. Well, do you just hang around there and he shows up at night? We can try that in a little bit. We're just running out of money. I just need to fight some bloody necromancers. There's undead about. What is that? Just legionaries. Okay, so for this fight, we don't need crossbows at all. We need shield breakers. Oh, you gotta beat the Madman first. I never even beat the Madman. And I don't think I have any guys who can actually beat the Madman. My best, maybe Loves to Splooge is pretty good. I mean, he's determined. He'll have 99 melee skill. He'll have 40 something melee defense. Attacking twice a turn. Give him 50 something melee defense. One of the greatsword guys has the best chance of defeating that madman. Probably loves to splooge. We can try him. But never mind. First, we've got to beat these undead. Modern, are you talking about the reward for beating the Lerock, or are you talking about the armor you get, the Dovecool armor? I don't have a mace specialist. I'll try the greatsword guy, and then if he gets killed, we'll give him a 200 mace and see how he does. But yeah, the 200 mace is probably the ultimate dueling weapon. Arguably. When I wish I had taunt. I really wish I could, you know, start this again. But I mean, we are going to start it again basically when the new campaign starts. So Love to Spoot is going to go there. So that puts Tanky Lad up here. Super Duper can't really do shit against these guys. Let's have him go around the back. I should have switched out to great swords. Ugh, damn. Mistake. Let's see, and the helmet is 310 for 20. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that Dovecool armor is badass. It's on my to-do list. Achieve Dovecool armor at some point. One big lesson from this playthrough has been how ineffective Overwhelm has been. Which doesn't felt great. The dagger dude is actually not bad against his undead. What's it, dagger dad? Come on, boys, you gotta resist that shit. This little duelist sword isn't gonna do anything. Another reason why a sword is not the way to go for a duelist. Lesson learnt. Probably should have broken his shield, but yeah. D7 39. That's defending, lads. Good dodging. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sigmar. And Sigmar's got pretty good defense. Those all must have been quite low hit chances. 46. Another duelist is useless. This fight's a bummer. If I'd equipped those great swords, it would have been so much easier. Well, Martin, you're quite right. I mean, the thing is, what I would want to do for my next playthrough is by the time I'm ready to do Black Monolith. I want to have that Lerock armor as well as the Dovekul armor. And then if you give your Mega Tank sword specialization and you give him that Lerock armor plus the lightning sword, he might actually be able to hold his own on one of the flanks. That's the idea. Militia campaign. Which one is it? Do you mean the deserters or the peasants? Because the peasants can be harder to start, but once you get going, holy shit! Peasants are amazing. Also, with a bit of luck, on the peasants you can get your hands on like a decent high tier brother. I think I once got a... what's it called again? Retired soldier? Owie. Just keep sticking it out. My advice would be play the peasant militia just as a normal warband until you're rolling. Honestly, for the first 250 days, just play them as a normal warband. Once you're at the stage where with a normal warband, you'll be like, it will be such a luxury to get extra lads in. That's just when you do it. Because I mean, all those extra mouths you got to feed, all those extra salaries you got to pay. It's not nothing. Oh, for sake. It's the problem with this experimentation band, they're so weak. Ugh. This is such a bummer. Well, let's do it again. Give them proper grade swords. This should go a lot better for us now. Thank you for the reminder. Honestly, maybe the shield breakers are better off on the flanks using the Bardishas. But no, they should just be working together with the tanks to give targets for the duelist and the dagger guy to be able to attack. Well, so on that point, Tomic, one thing that was something I learned from this playthrough as well is that when I'm building my new warband, talking about the pre-greatness and post and greatness phase. In the pre-greatness phase, you just need bodies. So if you have a guy who doesn't have stars in melee offense, like let's say, you know, I rolled sub-hedgehog quite early on. I mean, look, he's a vagabond. The fact that he's determined is great, but you can make this guy into a decent damage dealer. Obviously, he'll be defensively amazing, but just with the perks. I mean, I would level him to try and get the most value out of him as quickly as possible. So, student, gifted, fast adaptation, quick hands for versatility, shield expert, axe mastery. Honestly, just with gifted and with fast adaptation and like 70 melee skill, you'd be surprised. But also with the peasant militia, especially in the early game, your frontline guys should just be shield specialists who hold the enemies at bay and break shields, and let your backline polearm guys do most of the damage. Most of your damage should come from the backline. It's just a safer way to do it. If your frontline guys are spending AP attacking, they're not spending AP keeping their shield up. And then once you've stabilized your economy and you got some money rolling, then you can get a bit more aggressive with hiring and firing and looking for superstars. Thanks for the follow, DNA coded. See, we're gonna need a tea break after this fight. Where are these shields gonna go? I think he's gonna go here. What lovely fighting conditions. This is wonderful. A blizzard. Ah. bold. You know, coded, play this game, dude. It's so good. It is so good. You're gonna suffer. Lads are gonna die. But it's fun. I think at this point I have... How many hours do I have? I have 1,900, 700... You know, 1,970 something. Gonna be celebrating 2,000 hours before long. The thing is though, Homic, remember in the beginning, it's just all about stabilizing your economy. And the best way to do that is with these kind of brothers that I've got. Light armor, because it's the cheapest. And that's not going to be viable, like, you know, 250 days in and further. But right in the beginning, it's just about getting you to that position. So, like, for most guys, unless they have absolutely garbage stats, you should be able to make something out of them. Just keep grinding, honestly. A lot of the early games just a grind. As you can see, having greatsword guys, it's so sexy having these greatsword bastards. It was so good. Does that scream exhaust you as well? The other lad's got no fatigue. Weird. So with the peasant militia, my advice to you is if you get a guy who you're not impressed with stats wise, give him what are the perks again? In this order: student, gifted, fast adaptation, shield expert, axe mastery. And then depending on what kind of, you're probably going to give him light armor, so rotation at 6, nimble at 7, berserk at 8, killing frenzy at 9, and then because he's an axe expert you can even maybe justify headhunter. And then if he stays around long enough he'll look like this more or less, obviously with more stars in melee skill. And then that's a guy who's pretty dangerous. Like he get great utility because he can break shields. And these axes, you're going to be fighting with the normal hand axe because those are what you're going to find in the early game. But they do great damage, decent damage against armor. And if you manage to get a headshot, they can one-shot raiders. And you're going to be fighting raiders for the most part in the first 300 hours. Okay, that's a problem. Good. One less lad attacking Enko when he retreats now. What? I can't swap him? Oh, because he's horrified. Oh, for fuck's sake. And my bannerman's horrified, so my bannerman can't use rally. Horrified's annoying. Hey, Enko, welcome back to the fight. So I've also had crep rolls for poachers. Oh yeah, but especially with the peasant, you need to resign yourself to the fact that with the peasant mob, you're just going to be fighting at night with almost no archers for the foreseeable future, and that's fine. The thing I think you need to get into your head with the peasant mob, what's up, Madcat, that the peasant mob is very much a late game oriented origin. I think it's a lot harder to get it up to its full potential, but its full potential is higher than a lot of backgrounds origins. Sorry. One of the things I love about the peasant mob is that you can justify going all crossbows on your 4 backline ranged guys because you got the extra numbers to offset the lack of the extra attacks you get from the warbows. And as you've seen from this experimentation playthrough, the crossbows can be super effective, and you don't need as much ranged stats. Just remember, on crappy brothers, gifted is your best friend, and fast adaptation, which normally is not worth it. Well, basically put it this way, fast adaptation, the more crap the brother is, the more worth it is. The more value you get out of it. If you have a 9-star god of a brother, then fast adaptation is just a waste. Oh, for God's sake, a shield? Really? Another kite shield. Ooh, what's that? Jeweled crown. Nice. Ugh. I get why they have to have the legendary drop rates for shields be so high. It's a balance thing, but what a bummer. Ooh, nice. Cash money. Should we go try the ice cave? I don't think so. Not worth it. Honestly, I really want to wrap up this experimentation playthrough now. I so badly wanted to fight the Kraken, but now we can't find shimmering dust. Oh, those unholds, they wiped out the orcs. Brutal. I think down here is my best bet to find a undead vault for some necros. We have a modern chat, please. Bam Migjurujigito19. An idiot. Bot spamming. Piece of shit. Get out of my channel. My 23 viewers are not for you. Ugh, food. Thank you, Martin. We could do more. We could do Greenskin City, but I just want to do Kraken and get out of here. I think what we'll do is I'll wrap up the stream. Let's just end now by doing a wrap up where we gather our thoughts about what we learned from the experimentation, and then I will offline get the dust that we need, and then I'll upload the Kraken fight as its own little episode type thing. Okay, so we got 489 days into this experimentation build. Let's start with the various builds and then go over what we learned. So let's start with the tanks. The objective was to try the feasibility of a light armor wearing shield specialist overwhelmed tank. Overwhelm proved to be particularly ineffective, not least of which because split shield does not apply overwhelm. What we were hoping was that the higher initiative tanks would break the shield of a target, apply a few overwhelm stacks, and then these slightly slower, more offensive guys will then attack the shieldless target, who's also been like debuffed by overwhelm. But overwhelm proved to be not that great. The thing is, like, if dazing a target or stunning a target or disarming a target is infinitely more effective. I seem to remember a time where overwhelm used to lower the target's defense. If that was still the case, then you could maybe make an argument for it, but I just didn't feel like it was worth it. We kind of already knew that a light armor tank is not really feasible. I know there is a way to build them where you go super heavy into initiative, but ideally you would want someone who's determined and iron-lunged, or at least iron-lunged, to keep their initiative nice and high and keep the defense. The other thing we learned was, if I could do this again, and I was building a light armor tank, I'd switch out Overwhelm for Taunt. I think Taunt would have been a lot more effective in so many situations. I think it stops all special abilities. If you can get in range of a witch, it'll stop it from casting her spells. You can stop an unhold from throwing you over its shoulder. All sorts of irritating shit. So Taunt I would absolutely have gotten. I would have also left out Quick Hands and taken Colossus to really beef up the hit points. The hit points were nowhere near high enough. But I don't see myself making a light armor tank again. I'll rather go heavy armor and give him Taunt. Next, we built crossbow specialist crossbowman with Headhunter. So the Headhunter didn't feel like it was worth it, because I mean, when it does proc, especially when you have Killing Frenzy active, you are one-shotting most human targets, which is great. But most human targets aren't that dangerous. They're raiders. You're fighting soldiers. You know, they're still pretty dangerous, but like in terms of the hierarchy of big bads, the human targets aren't that bad. Even with crippling strikes and 75% armor pierce, Battleforge does enough on like big orcs and hedge knights that you can't really reliably wound them. So if I were to build the crossbowman again, I wouldn't take Headhunter. I think, I mean, Fearsome you wouldn't really need, because you're almost always inflicting enough to make that trigger. I don't know what else I would take. Honestly, I might have just taken Gifted just for the stats. The stats are always great. Maybe even bags and belts just to justify some extra utility. But the crossbowmen were a pleasant surprise. I can legitimately see myself considering running just with crossbowmen again. We saw that they certainly have their weaknesses. You can find yourself getting outranged and not being able to hit a necromancer, or like a goblin shaman, which can be super fucking annoying. But I feel like that is more than made up for with the consistent, devastating damage of the crossbows. I mean, like in these noble war fights, in the big fights, I had a fight offline where there was 25 of us against 46 enemy soldiers, and we won 20. We had 20 guys left because my 4 crossbow guys would just wait, let the allied crossbow guys get a few bolts off. Even their little tier 2 crossbows tend to wound one of the soldiers. Then my tier 3 crossbow guys with Executioner just pick the guys off, just bam, bam, bam. We were killing like 8 soldiers a turn. It was nuts. Super effective. So I loved the crossbowmen. For the next playthrough though, I think we're going to go for warbows though. The warbows just make it easier in a lot of situations. Most notably for hitting necromancers. And you can offset the weakness of the warbows by just turn order manipulation. Sometimes though, your warbow guys are going to have nothing much to do if there's armored targets. But in that scenario then, you can just build them as hybrids like I did, where you give them throwing mastery and barbarian axes. The other thing we tested was the feasibility of light armor greatsword guys, Sigmar and KK. They're pretty good. Like in terms of their stats, numbers wise, they are comparable to the heavy armor guys. But their survivability is nowhere near what the heavy armor guys' survivability is. 350, again, that should be higher. That should be closer to 100. But like in this build then, what do you swap out? Do you swap out maybe Gifted for Colossus? Yeah, I don't know. So I won't be building two-handed guys in light armor again. The only two-handed, or the only light armor guy on the front line I might build again is a duelist. The duelist was a pleasant surprise. The fencing sword was super useful with lunge in a lot of situations. But then, if you're fighting against an armored target, you can just do nothing. Lunge, the fencing sword is hopeless. Even with the extra armor pierce from Duelist, this just doesn't do enough. If I were to build a Duelist again, it would probably be a mace or an axe master. But then you run into the issue of however much damage or usefulness you get out of that Duelist. The question is, would you not outperform that with a two-handed weapon user? Are you telling me that a one-handed mace user with Duelist is going to outdamage a two-handed mace user? You'd have to just check the maths. If 3 attacks with the mace is more than 2 attacks with the two-handed mace, assuming, you are proccing Berserk. But I think 2 attacks with the mace is on par or just a little bit more than the two-handed mace. But the two-handed mace gives you days. And honestly, I would rate days above the utility of Overwhelm that we've got in the tanks. So, Duelist, interesting. Am I going to build a Duelist in the next campaign? Probably not. Dagger Specialist? Love the Dagger Specialist. Fucking great. The Obsidian Dagger is cool, but you got to be careful with it. It's like, I would use it in some of the bigger fights, obviously against humans. In the Civil War, it's particularly useful. But I think you have to consider the economic implications of the Obsidian Dagger. Because targets that you kill as Wiedergangers, you don't get their armor. I'm pretty sure you don't get their armor. So that can actually end up costing you money. And like, as good as it is, 25 to 50, when you find something like this, 25 to 45, sorry. When you find something like this, 25 to 50, 20 and 100. Look at that. King Rumold Stiletto, that is bonkers. Such a good weapon. Let's think, so once the DLC comes out, assuming we have a 12-man warband, it's going to look very similar to this. We're only going to have 2 reserves though. We'll have 2 these guys will be warbow guys. I don't know if I'm going to run with shield breakers. I think I might try the pole mace guys. Actually no, I think I'll probably have shield breakers or pole arm users. These two-handed weapon guys, I think I might have these 2 on the outside flanks use two-handed maces and pole maces, and then the inside flank guys will use great swords and pole swords. The pole weapons then will be useful once they get so damaged they can't stand on the front line. They can then tuck themselves in behind the front line, attack from there. I'm going to have 2 tanks in the formation. One with sword mastery, which will probably be the one that will give the lightning sword to. And in the center of the formation, we will have a two-handed cleaver user who's going to use the Ice Cave two-handed cleaver. And we will have a dagger specialist who will use the new Katol dagger. I might even have the dagger guy stand next to the mace guy. I might have to figure that out. I might even go for dagger lad in the middle, mace duelist here. It's going to be interesting because the thing with the Katol dagger is, what I don't want to do is have him basically function like a duelist. I mean, he probably could. Who knows, it might give him utility against unarmored targets where, like if you give him a goblin dagger. No, that's not worth it. You won't need duelist. But what I want to try to avoid is having my Katol dagger guy have to throw the nets himself. Because assuming the Katol dagger with specialization lowers you down to 3 AP per attack like this, you can attack 3 times with a Katol. So, but if you have to throw the net, you got to spend 4 of it, meaning you can only stab once. So if you throw the net, you only get to stab once. That's a huge damage reduction. So you want someone behind you with quick hands throwing nets. Or maybe, like if this is the dagger guy, we have the mace duelist who's got quick hands and his job is to throw nets and to facilitate the Katol guy. Because if the Katol guy can attack 3 times at a target that's covered by a net, that's going to be 3 stabs with 33% damage increase for each stab. That is devastating, utterly devastating. Of course, it's dependent on having nets available, but if we make the duelist guy a mace user, he can then stun. Any plans for an explosive guy? That'll depend on a number of things. I don't. Well, let's. Okay, so the first thing I'm thinking of is the economic implications of it. What we saw from part 1 of the playthrough in the last dev blog is that explosives are like 650 gold a shot. So it's not like you can just have a guy full-time throwing grenades. They're too expensive. And they're going to be too hard to craft. We also don't know whether the throwing explosives are going to be affected by any of the perks. Throwing mastery seems like the most likely, but at most what's it going to do? Give you some fatigue reduction? Is it going to increase damage of a thrown weapon over 2 tiles? I don't think so. That's going to make it hopelessly overpowered. I think most likely the thrown weapons are going to be items that are stockpile like these for the gigantic fights. When I know I'm taking on huge fights that have legendaries inside them, I want to have stockpiles of grenades. And then that's actually going to give extra utility to quick hands then, because to be able to quick hands to a grenade and throw it and get to attack with your weapon, as opposed to spend AP to take the grenade out, other AP to throw it at the end of your turn. Maybe my shield breaker guys could have some throwing weapons, but I love the setup for a shield breaker. This is such lovely utility. If I could just build these guys over again, I would put them in heavy armor. And Homek, if you're still in chat, this is the kind of thing, if you get a brother who's not great, aim to have them look like this. Just switch out Nimble for Battle Forged, and switch out Adrenaline for Brawny, and Bags and Belts for that. That, you know, basically you want them. They can start on the front, like they're so flexible. They can start on the front line. Once they get injured, they rotate out to the back. Then they go to their Dane axe. Or the way I use them, they start with a crossbow, fire off a few bolts. You don't even need to put points into range skill. Any shots they hit are it's just straight up bonus damage. Once the battle lines are joined, they switch to the long axe. They start breaking shields, facilitate the front line. Front line gets in trouble, swap them out, go to shield. Then the guy on front then goes to his two. It's so good, so good. Okay, so that about covers it. So to summarize, interesting little bit of experimentation. Light armor tanks are a fail unless you get an exceptional brother with like iron lungs, and in which case I think you can do better. Your guys in the front line have to have heavy armor unless they're a duelist, and even then you can probably have a duelist be in heavy armor, because my duelist's main defense came from dodge and relentless, and he's only got 94 initiative. It's way too low. It should have been way higher, but that was my misunderstanding with how fatigue and initiative interacted. I would have rather have left his fatigue at around 65 to 70 and put his initiative up to like 150. Lost my train of thought now. Light armor tanks are a fail. The dagger guy is great. Crossbows are surprisingly good. Oh yeah, and the other takeaway was that don't underestimate warbrands. In some situations, warbrands outperform greatswords. If you're up against an unarmored target, you want the warbrand, because assuming you have reach advantage, you can apply 2 stacks of slash, 2 stacks of reach advantage, because you can slash twice, extra defense, and you attack twice for 50. So 50, it's 100 to 150. As opposed to 85 to 100. It's like a 60% damage increase. Super useful. Okay, thanks for watching, friends. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel. I'm going to be uploading some stream highlights between now and when the DLC drops. This group is going to give a try on the Kraken with this tactic we've been thinking of, where we want to fight tentacles until there's only 4 tentacles. Then we're going to throw acid at the Kraken and then see what these 4 crossbow guys can do. Probably nothing, but let's find out. Thanks for watching, friends. I'll see you all, like I said, on dedicated little videos on YouTube. But be ready. Be ready for the DLC. Oh man, I'm not kidding when I say I'm going to be streaming for like 12 hours a day. I can't fucking wait. Oh, it's going to be so good. Thank you, and I'll see you guys then. Next stream will be Monday night. We're going to be playing Blood Bowl. Wednesday, I don't know, I might actually start my Long War of the Chosen campaign on Wednesday. I think I'll do a short little announcement video for the channel at some point. Yeah, Thanks, everyone. Cheers. And don't forget to check out the Discord. Use !Discord now in the chat. There's always a bunch of people, me especially, willing to answer questions. We just love talking about Battle Brothers. Any questions you have, fire them there. Thanks, boys.